Say good morning if you're watching on Peacock or you're listening on our radio affiliates around the country. Jimmy Graham announced his retirement, former NFL tight end. He was a Pro Bowler 5 times, played football and basketball at the U, and he's been busy in retirement. He just recently completed the Arctic Challenge, 10 days rowing over 584 nautical miles, breaking a record. That's not retirement, Jimmy. That's work. How did this come about?
Oh, how are you doing, Dad? It's good to see you. Good to hear from you. Basically, my best friend, he was a SEAL Team 6, and he got his MBA from Cambridge right before he retired. And he'd been trying to get me to row across an ocean for 8 years. So I was at his graduation, and we were at a pub in Cambridge. And over a few is when he finally broke me down and got me to agree to it. So that'll be the last. Well, one, that'll be the last time that I ever agree to do something at a pub. But basically, so we teamed up with the Huppies. They're professional rowers. And Andrew, he rowed at BU. So basically, over a year and a half ago is when I had to learn how to start rowing. So we started first in kind of like small shells, and then we moved on to like a kind of an ocean, like a coastal rower, and then we moved on to our boat that we ended up crossing the Arctic in, which was a logistical nightmare. Obviously, getting the boat from Miami to Norway. And rowing is absolutely one of the most brutal sports I've ever done. A full body workout, and when you're doing it 12 hours a day for 10 days, it's extremely exhausting.
Any moments where you go, this is a bad decision?
For me, I think it was from the start to the end. Football's fun. Practicing football's fun. Lifting weights is fun. There's a big competition, but when you're sitting on a row boat that weighs 800 pounds, all carbon fiber, and the sea state is 6.5 meters, the water's 26 degrees, and you're burning 9,000 calories a day, I don't think there's any joy in that for me. But for me, it was all about the kids. It was all about the raise. We ended up partnering with Covenant House and a Lower Sports for Kids, and so we raised a bunch of money, and we're going to be closing that raise at the end of the month. So for me, I just stayed focused on why I was doing it and try to complain as little as I could.
Weather an issue?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I took a look at this, I realized how important the weather aspect was. Me being a pilot, obviously, I know weather very well. And then I live on a sailboat, so the seamanship aspect of it, that's why I was lead comms, lead weather, and lead navigator. So we took a route that nobody had ever taken, and that was all based off weather models, and that was all based off sea states. And then we had one of the best weather models in the world. We basically had the A team for this, and he's out of the UK. He does the weather modeling for the UK national team, the Olympic team. His name's Simon Rao. And so me and him were contacting each other twice a day for 10 straight days. And what we would do is he would send me the weather models for the next 72 hours. So we would set the boat up 72 hours ahead or 48 hours ahead, sometimes not even going in the direction that we needed to go. So that once we got heavy winds, heavy weather, we were able to surf down these waves and get some push.
You're also doing something. You're at the EAA Air Venture in Oshkosh right now. So this is the largest airplane show in the world. So there's over 600,000 people who attend, over 10,000 airplanes. But you're helping in a role that Chuck Yeager once had, Harrison Ford, Sully Sullinger, providing free flights to kids to introduce them to the world of aviation. And the program has already provided over 2.5 million free flights. What made you get into this?
Throughout my career and really throughout my life, I've had just a big passion about flying. I always wanted to be an aviator. I wanted to be an F-16, F-22 pilot, really F-16 when I was a kid. But unfortunately, I grew to the freakish height of 6'7". So in high school, I realized that was kind of not there for me. So once I got drafted, first 10 years of my career, I went to flight school. So I have 10 licenses. And then I started giving Wounded Warrior flights, started flying a lot of underprivileged kids. And I ran into this program many, many years ago, over a decade ago. And then I was brought in by the greatest air show performer to ever live, Sean D. Tucker. And he was the chairman. He made me co-chairman. And now I have this just complete passion of pushing this program. We have a band of pilots all across the country. Each year, we have flown 70,000 kids for over 3 decades. And what we do is we use the program to expose kids to the aerospace technology industry and to become pilots, engineers, and mechanics. The aerospace technology industry is really hurting right now for those type of employees. So we really push kids into that. And it really takes just one flight. There's so many kids that I've met, or really grown men and women now, who are airline pilots, fly F-22s, F-16s, and they tell me that their first flight was at 14 through the Young Eagles. So this program
cool.
has changed lives, and it's been a true privilege to be a part of it.
We're talking to Jimmy Graham, former NFL tight end, 5-time Pro Bowl player. And why did you wait this long to announce your retirement?
I still had a bunch of teams calling, and
really?
Yeah, it was more about the playoffs, in case of an injury. I'm still 6'7", and I can still run a fade. I think I'll be able to catch fades for the next 10 years. But,
Who contacted you last year during the playoffs?
Well, I'm going to keep that. It was teams that were contacting me early, and I told them, listen, hit me up in the playoffs if you end up having an injury. So it was teams prior to the playoffs. It was early in the season. But for me, it was more the effect of, the one thing that I'd never done is I never played in the big game. And, that's the one thing that always escaped me. I was on amazing teams with amazing teammates, amazing coaches. And it's sometimes so hard to get to that game. I've been close, NFC Championship with Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, Luke Wilson in Seattle. We had the Legion of Boom. We had an unbelievable team. And then, some of the historic teams that we had for the Saints, 2011 is a remembrance of that big loss in San Fran in Candlestick after I scored with 1:24 to go left on the clock. So, it's one of those things where it kind of eats at you, especially when you've always chased it. That's all you cared about was winning, and to never get that experience, never even have the opportunity to play in a game, it kind of sits with you a little bit.
Do you think you've done enough to be considered for the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I know that, my time in New Orleans and Seattle was pretty special. I know I still carry all their records. I know that big knee injury really hindered me. And then, obviously going to some run first teams sometimes is very difficult. But, because that wasn't the type of player I was. And I think sometimes, the overall stats can kind of peak out. I think maybe hopefully one day I could limp in. But, for me, I did everything I could. And for me to come from the basketball court and to have the opportunity to have a team that believed in me when a lot of people didn't, and what happened afterwards, being a starter year 2 and then, going to Pro Bowl that year, and then just the magic that me and Drew Brees had together, the magic that me and Russ had, our last 2 years there, back-to-back Pro Bowls. I think those are the things I'm going to remember. Those are things that I'm blessed for. And, Mickey told me that I'll be going to the Ring of Honors one day for New Orleans. And, just to be up on that ring with those great players and all my teammates that I was with is going to be enough for me.
Who was the best player you played against in college in basketball?
Wow. Wow, that list is pretty deep. I would say the best player that I played up against. Tyler Hansborough in his dominance in college basketball was pretty incredible. Me and him had some battles for sure, where I was fouling the mess out of him. And I was all over the place with him. I would say the one that really stood out for me was my freshman year, J.J. Redick, in Duke, at Duke, with Sheldon Williams setting all those illegal screens. That team, that team, and just to see the way that Coach K demanded perfection from his guys, how they responded to him, and then to go into that stadium and, take the ball out and there's hands just like waving next to your face. That's a memory that I'll never forget.
The biggest difference between Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Drew Brees is what?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is the best to ever throw the ball. the way he throws the ball is insane. The way he flicks his wrist and the ball carries 50 yards. It's something that when you first get on the team, even Devontae Adams will tell you, anybody will tell you, your first year on the team, it's hard to track the ball because it's got so much spin on it and it's got so much carry to it, and the way he throws his long ball is basically when it goes up, it looks like a punt because it's coming straight down, which is very unique. I'd say Russell Wilson, the thing about him is he's so dynamic on the run. That was something I really had to get used to was there's the initial play and then there's the play after. And the way to get the ball is you get open first, but you got to get open second and third, and you got to keep running. And at the time, being 285, it took me a lot of lumbering to restart the old diesel engine. But his ability to run, and then obviously his deep ball. He has a very special deep ball, one of the most accurate, unbelievable. And then obviously my guy Drew Brees. There's not enough to say about him. The way he led, how much time he put into it. I would have Drew Brees because, before we didn't have, our plays and just a full playbook and video on our iPads at home over Wi-Fi. So Drew Brees he would watch film in the tight end room. And there were so many times where I got a video at 9:30 at night of him showing me a clip and then him showing me their defense and him showing me, hey, we're going to make this adjustment. If they play you like this, and they want to undercut you and have a guy over top, you're going to wrap it inside. And it's not even a route, basically. And sure enough, we're in San Fran comes home, and they're playing me like this against P. Willis, and I do this double move, and I just wrap it around, ball's right there. I mean, his attention to detail, the amount that he put into it, the sacrifice that he made, it made me better because, you have to show up every day willing to work that hard. He's first in the building, 5 o'clock. He's leaving at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I've never seen somebody work so hard in my life. And obviously it showed on the field.
Did Tom Cruise reach out for Top Gun Maverick? That maybe could have been an extra in there?
No, and I was so hurt, honestly. What an unbelievable movie. That's a movie that really steered my life. Back, I think the original one was 1986. So when it came out, I was so hurt. I mean, just to be an extra in the background would have been a life dream. So, hopefully one day that they'll make another one and I'll be the old guy in the background just grinning. So I'm gonna keep working on my flying and hopefully next time I get a call.
Okay, what's your call sign? There's Maverick and Goose, and what would you
be? Man, I've got so many nicknames. I guess Avatar was was one of the original, but I guess everybody calls me him or Hemi. I don't even know. I'm the Hemi because I'm him. That's what they used to say. But when it comes to it, I'm actually the honorary commander of the F-16 Makos down in the Homestead. So in the next 6 months, we're going to have a big party, and that's when I get my call sign. So I'll definitely get back on and let you know what it is.
Good. Hey, congrats. And congrats on retirement and everything that you're working on now. Great to talk to you again.
I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. You have a good one.
That's Jimmy Graham. Him. I'm like, wait, why do they call you that? I'm him.